that we will hold, I think we will hold the opening of the chat just for a few minutes. Actually, opening it now probably makes sense, to be honest. And I will try to stay as focused as possible to make this as streamlined and as efficient as possible, in line with the fact that next week is our big seminar where we cover kind of the big stuff, the real stuff. Okay. Is Chief online? No, he's not. Okay. Give me 1 second, folks. Right. Now, the question, folks, is do I do a screen sharing thingamajig and try it out, see how that goes? And I will try it. And if it doesn't work, then Danish will then do it, and then you will just hear my voice over it. Let's start off with some good news. Okay, let's start off with all the good news, in fact. And then we'll jump into, let's just structure some updates, logistics, questions. All right, that's what we're going to try and do. We're going to give ourselves a target of finishing for 8 p.m. UK time, so that's about 1 hour and 25 minutes. Okay, and if people in the chat can help those that, for the life of me, don't understand why people struggle so much. You know how many emails I received? Can someone send me the Zoom link? Can someone send me the link? And how many times I tell folks, it just doesn't matter. It is amazing. It really is amazing. And you need to be a saint and an angel, two things which I'm not. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all those folks who are more patient than I am and more understanding than I am. And show them the screenshots and show them the directions and do that kind of, all that business and blah, 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 blah. Tell them to sign out and whatever. This mustahsin yani, mashallah. Mashallah. But it is what it is. Let's start off with the good news first of all. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Every single person in our Hajj group has received their Hajj visa now, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Every single person. We were waiting on a couple of people. There were some immigration issues. There were X's, Y's, blah, blah, blah. But alhamdulillah, I can tell you that just as of a few minutes ago, I can confirm that every single person has received their Hajj visa, which didn't happen in last year, just so that you know, number one. Number two, from a point of view of the guides, second piece of good news is that alhamdulillah, that seems to have kicked into place. Although myself and Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar seem to have been missed off the invite list, but I'm not worried about that because I also got an email. I also got a message from Al Bayt, which says that we just need now some details from the rest of the guides to basically register them through some other kind of system. So anyway, it looks like the guides thing is going to be working out well as well. I saw all of 8 of our team that have received the guide contract thingamajig, whatever it is. Yeah, this kind of like legal disclaimer kind of whatever from the Saudi kind of ministry. And all hilarious clauses in there. For example, one of them, be careful from these guys, by the way, on the team. Yeah, if any one of them tries to sell you the package, yeah, but it says they are not allowed to sell the Hajj to any of the Hujjaj. So just in case Shaz, yeah, says I'm giving it to you for cut price $5,000, yeah, you know what to do. So be careful. Be careful, Shaz. Be careful. All right. Be careful of Shaz, and Shaz should be careful as well. So so that's all good news, alhamdulillah. What other good news do we have? No, I think that's pretty much about it. And we're just now obviously in the final stages of preparing for the big webinar stroke seminar next week. Of course, we want everybody to be there. If for no other reason other than just to eat good, drink good, snacks, the team, Cheadle, weather will be nicer over here than it will be in London. By the way, we had a better week here. And I think we'll have a better week next week than in London. Just throwing that out there. All right. So that's all the news. Let's now do the itinerary. Okay, we're very, very excited about this, very happy about this. I want to say a couple of statements to get you up to speed on the itinerary. It has been posted in the broadcast channel, and it has also been sent to your inboxes and your emails as well. Okay. You will see that it says revision 0. This is the original version. We will be revising this constantly, and you will see, it will say R1, R2, R3, R4, and it will keep on updating, We're very proud about doing that. Okay. We don't like to keep it static. And people might say, why does it take so long to release or whatever? You realize we don't copy and paste these things. We make everything all the time, new and fresh every single time. Always taking on feedback, making changes, mistakes we made before, fixing those. So many different kind of things, but every year something fresh, something different. We try out a few things the year before. We say, yeah, we really like to bring that back in. Bring that in or introduce that for the next year, etc., etc. So it's very, very dynamic. So I want you to be aware of that. And as a result, you'll always see, that's why it's now important that everyone starts moving over now fully to the broadcast channel and thinking. Even today, there were a number of people that weren't members of the group chat or the broadcast channel, which is weird. I still don't understand that. There's still 30, 40 people that have not done an introduction, which is not weird. It's sad, but not weird. Nice if everybody does an introduction as per my email the other day, as per my message. But now in terms of communications, then we definitely need to now get things ready. So this is what I'm going to present for the next half an hour or whatever. Day by day breakdown from today. Sorry, there was one other good news. There was the third piece of very good news. It seems, and inshallah, that our flights are fixed. What do I mean by that? That even for them, even for Turkish, which is the biggest offender, I know we only have one Turkish flight, but it's the biggest offender. It seems that we are going to be not having any more changes. Now, that's important, of course, for all those that had to buy domestic flights. So, for example, I know a number of the Americans obviously having to fly into JFK. That's a mission, and they have their own little kind of comms group. And by the way, I don't know who the admins are, but they've done a really poor job of helping the people join that. There's so many folks on our chat group over the last couple of weeks saying, "Can please someone add me to the group, whatever?" And they get completely blanked. Honestly, man. So whoever is the admin of the A9000, A10,000 group, please, keep an eye out. And when someone messages, respond to them and say, yeah, it's me, I've joined you or whatever. Because obviously that's a nice, helpful little kind of group that allows people to travel or allows people to, some of the people are spending the night in New York and the night before, etc. It'd be nice to make sure everybody is on. I think everybody's on now, but goodness me, they had to go through torture to get on. In any case, and I don't actually know, obviously it was an unofficial kind of thing. The team are not involved in that. But it should be that you should be part of that kind of hookup. So there was always and still always a chance that some of the flights by the airlines, they get changed. They do schedule changes and things. And as I said, Turkish are the biggest culprits of that. They've done it many times. I've been a result of that many times. Okay, so I don't think that, I think we're good. We normally get an indication, but I got a confirmation today from Al Bayt that all of our flights, we have a big Saudi flight from London that has 170 odd people or whatever. And then we have about 70 odd from JFK on Saudi. We have 40 from Toronto on Saudi. And then we have the remaining 100 and whatever odd on the Turkish. Okay. And as I said, Turkey is the one that normally plays around with this, but it seems like we're good. Okay. Now, what I will be doing is over the next few days, there's going to be the release of 2 more apps. Okay, 2 key apps. The first app will be something called Rafiq. Now, Rafiq app is, and I guess now I'm going to start the itinerary. And the itinerary does not start with the PDF document that you've got or that I'm going to put on the screen, inshallah. Actually, the itinerary starts from now, so from today. So from today, you're attending this live and you're getting all your questions answered. If you didn't make it live, you're catching up, or you've got family members, then you want them to catch up with the recordings and the like. And then if we now start breaking it down, what are the things that need to be done tomorrow and day after tomorrow, and basically this week, it is just making sure that you are printing out all of the documents that I sent yesterday in the update, telling you to print out, for example, your passport photo, your print out copy of your visa, and the like, right? And the copy of the flights, all of the flights with the PNRs. People keep on asking me for e-tickets, and I don't know why, considering that I have made it, maybe, I don't know how clear and how many times I said that you should assume no e-ticket, that you are going to check in at the airport. It makes me wonder, do you guys not travel? Because who actually has an e-ticket? I can't remember the last time I saw an e-ticket or had an e-ticket, because when you buy a ticket, you got to give your passport number, it gets connected to your passport number. And then when you go to the airport, check in, it's linked to your passport. That's what you got to assume. Please stop asking me or anybody else about e-tickets. There is a possibility, however, that you will receive an e-ticket, but it's the exception, not the norm. So ignore it, get it out of your head, okay? Also, trust the process. How much headache have you folks caused in so many insignificant areas? Each time I said, guys, relax, leave it, don't worry. Guys, relax, leave it, don't worry. And you guys wouldn't accept that. And one way or the other, it's worked out like we've said. Please, when you're told by me to quiet, stop, leave it, just trust the system. I know it's difficult. I get it. You people are panic kings and queens by nature. I get it. I try to mitigate that by giving as much information as possible, get cussed by my team as a result of it. I get it. Guys, relax, okay? No tickets. If you get the tickets, I will tell you. If you get the tickets, it will be in the last 1 day or 2 days before you leave. If you don't, you will continue, as I said, and it will be given to you at the airport. What will happen possibly is that the tickets also could be uploaded to your personal profile on what is known as the Rafiq app. Now, I will be sending that out after I've done my testing, okay? I don't ever do things when other people do. I like to always make sure that I've understood every single bit of the angles and I understand all the parameters and everything. Rafiq app is an app that is run by Al Bayt. Every single person needs to have it on their phone. That means every traveler, so your mums and dads and all the other people as well. And it will be specific to you. And in it, it will have your personal information, your passport, your this, that, whatever, your contact information, your Hajj numbers, your visa, blah, blah, blah. And it will also have an itinerary, but a version that's written by Al Bayt, not this one. But, it'll have your flight schedule and it'll have your e-ticket very possibly as well. It's an app which is built around Al Bayt and connected to Nusuk as well. It is useful because it will also show bus lists. It will show, key breakdowns that will just make things easy. Is it absolutely essential, meaning that you're going to die without it? No, it's not, because we have such a great system with, the Telegram and everything else. But it's a good app to have, okay? And I'm going to be sending that out. The second thing, of course, will be the Nusuk app. Nusuk app has been sent out a number of times already. You should all be now downloading that, and you should all now and I will release in the next few days, a guide on how to try to find yourself on it using your visa and the like. And maybe in the group chat, not now, because I want everybody to focus on this. I want people to not be writing in a group chat. You should know that unless I ask a question and I want a response, that's fine. But otherwise, there should be no questions in the group chat now. That's disrespectful and against the system as well. You're meant to be focusing on me in this webinar, and you're meant to put your questions on the Q&A sheet. So there should be no typing of questions in a group chat, let alone the fact that it disturbs me, but put that to the side. When I finished, I'm going to leave the group chat open so that we can have some chat and discussions, especially around some of these apps. That's the only kind of remaining thing. So over the next 4 or 5 days, the priorities are to get these 2 apps onto our phone and to be able to try to get them working and active, okay? To keep up your focus on dua list preparation. That's the single most important thing out of all everything. The weather is now getting hotter. Great opportunity to now get, again, the last 2 weeks to be able to get that heat, exhaustion, fitness, minimize your sleep, this kind of point. And then it's making sure that you're buying all of the things that you need to get from your preparation list, the Hajj prep list. So you've got to make sure that you've got all the items that we've had before and we've spoken about, minus the things that we know that we're going to get. You're getting a little fan, small fan. You're not getting umbrella, so you got to make sure you get umbrella, or you can buy the umbrella over there. The bag that they'll give you is something like this size, okay? It's not as solid as this, but it's about 20 liters, and it's a foldable kind of a bag, okay? And in fact, I'm going to now, because people are still typing, and I don't know, how to stop folks, okay? So we're putting it on slow, okay? So the chat now, you will not be able to post more than every few minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, okay? So the chat's being put on slow just to tell you guys to stop typing and focus on the thing. And then you can, after the thingamajig, after the webinar is done, then you can chat to your heart's content, but just show that focus now and listen to me, please, okay? You're gonna be getting a map for the ground, and you guys would have remembered when we did the logistics webinar where I showed you that I have like a blow up kind of inflatable mattress. For example, I will not be bringing that, for example. And so I just want you to know that there are, with this information about what they're giving, now we can know that we don't need to bring all the kind of things that we were planning for before. Likewise, the items that we know that we want you to actually get, the items that we want you to buy from the Hajj preparation list, I shared a link to some cheap, good quality oral rehydration tablets. You want to make sure you got that. The antibiotics, if you've made it your best shot and got some, great. If not, we're going to be able to have maybe some overflow of that. Inshallah, we should have some enough to be able to cover people's needs, inshallah. I don't think that we're going to struggle too much on that. In terms of the what other packing stuff, people have been asking about eye masks, and I spoke about that. The sunglasses, you need all of that. You've been speaking endlessly about the all the personal stuff, and the ladies have gone mental over the clothes. You guys know about that. People asked about the clothes and laundry detergent conditioner. You need to kind of make sure it's not very, very strong. If it's got a slight smell, if you do a deep kind of whatever, this is absolutely fine. You don't need to be rewashing that. It's the one where it's over there at 2 meters away and you can smell. That's the one that needs to be washed again in just plain water. That's all of your clothes for ihram, okay? And for the men, the sheets, which if you buy over there, which most of you will be, then they're not going to be having detergent smell anyway. And you're going to make sure you're going to get all of the rest of the things, as I said, on the actual Hajj prep list. This week is really important for you to catch up on all of the reading material. It's also very, very important for you to catch up on the videos, especially the ones that I recorded myself that go through Medina, that go through the Rawda, and I gave it in order as well. I'm going to repost that on the email again to make sure that you do that, because coming Sunday, is the day that we go full in on our Umrah and touch slightly on the Hajj and answer the major questions. Obviously, you know that we're going to be studying Hajj in immense detail when we get to base camp, but we're still going to next week, inshallah, cover the remaining, cover some key points as well. So just putting that out there. Okay, so this will lead us the next 2 weeks. This is what's going to lead us up to then our flights. Okay, so let me now try and do this. Considering that I have no idea actually how to do this. Maybe with that you can tell me what do I even press to share a screen or to share a document or to present something? Because I can't even see anything.
Beside the microphone icon, you should see a little
yes.
Yeah. And then it'll give you the option, I think, to share specific
screen.
Window. Or, yeah.
Oh yeah, screen. Got it. Okay. So you are now seeing my screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you can see this, yeah?
And it's showing absolutely everything. I think there may be an option to just show the itinerary by itself. Yeah, we're good.
You can see the thing, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And when I do this, it's zooming in, and you guys can see like that.
Yeah.
We're good like that, yeah?
Yeah, it's perfect, Sheikh.
All right, Jazakumullah khair. All right, guys. So let's start off. And obviously, some folks are going to be starting off on May 30th, which is the Thursday. All right, but you can see that the main day for most people will be the Friday itself. Now, because you people will be traveling, most of you will be on the road or you will be in the airport. You do not need to pray Salatul Jum'ah. However, if you are passing by and you stop near a Muslim area or you're in an area of masajid whilst you're on your way to the airports, then you should pray Salatul Jum'ah in the local masjid. Otherwise, you'll be praying as a musafir, and we'll be covering some of that in the group chat over the next few days. We'll be speaking about this in detail next week as well. All of the prayers will be halved other than Salatul Fajr, which remains exactly as it is, and Maghrib, which remains exactly as it is, and the Sunnah of Salatul Fajr will remain as it is. Otherwise, the rest of the prayers and Witr, neither here nor there, but you'll remain praying that as per normal. So you can see that that the Americans will leave early. All right, they will leave on the 30th, and you will see that they will arrive into Medina at 2:35 p.m. Okay. Now I just want you to know that the way that the system will work, all right, is that Al Bayt will have lots and lots of people at the airport. Next week, what will happen is that in the seminar in Cheadle, the team will be giving out a pack, a bundle to every single Haji. Okay. And what this bundle will be basically stickers and your ID cards. All right. The folks who are on custom flights, they will not receive this until you get to Medina. Okay. But everybody else will be receiving this at the webinar, or the seminar rather, I should say, in Cheadle. Those who are in Toronto, you will receive it at the airport. Widad will give it to you directly in person. And those who are at JFK, then Danish and Arif will give that to you directly as well at the airport. And as I said, custom flight folks, they're going to receive it in the hotel here from Medina. What will this pack have? This pack will have a total of 6 baggage tags. Okay, and these baggage tags will be an Al Bayt baggage tag that will need to go on all of your pieces of baggage, your checked suitcases, whether 1 or 2, and your carrier bags, your rucksacks, or your pull-on cabin bags as well. And those that you're not using right now, you'll keep in your pack, and those that you are using, you'll use. There's a total of 6. Okay, 4 of them will have a label on it, and this label will have the key essential details that will be able to track you and track your stuff if it gets lost. There'll be a QR code, there'll be your passport details, your number, an emergency number for people to contact if the bag gets lost, and everything. It's very nice. So that will all be on each baggage tag. Also on the baggage tag, there will be a sticker that will represent a color. I will be explaining this color system next week. There will be a color, a sticker on your baggage tag that will refer to where you are located in terms of a floor in base camp. That's what the color is. I'm just giving you this information right now. Then there will also be a sticker in your pack, which you're going to go, and I'm really sorry to say this, and I know this is going to make me the enemy of the state. Actually, I thought my camera was showing, but it can't. But it's going to have to go on your passport. And not only is it going to have to go on your passport, it has to go quite prominently on your passport. And that sticker is going to be essential because the passports will be taken by Saudi authorities during a portion of the trip, and then will be returned back to us as well. And I want you to understand that with X million passports being taken, it's the biggest gamble ever. But alhamdulillah, the system works. The system works. But we just try to make sure the system works better. So with that sticker on it and with a color that represents a locator for you, we are able to make sure at a high level of security that we know where your passport is at all times. So that sticker, when you get it, you're going to stick it onto your passport immediately. Then you'll have an ID card. The ID card will not have anything else with it. It will just go in your pocket for now. But when you get to Medina, then you'll receive a lanyard that you can then attach it to it, and then you should have that on at all times. And you will receive another ID card and lanyard in Mina as well. These are security measures. They open doors. They help you get entry in certain places. Blah 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 blah. So you're going to need to have all of this stuff. So we're going to be giving these out in the seminar to people who are there. Those who do not attend in the UK, then we're going to try and give it to you at your respective airport departures. But please try to come and pick it up directly, okay? As for the Americans and Canadians, you'll receive it at the departure airports from the team, and the custom flight folks, obviously, you're going to receive it when you come and see in Medina. So you can see then that everybody is going to be arriving from the Americans and Canadians into Dalla Tayyiba. And I want you to understand something. I told you guys before, it's been a long time ago. If you look at the way that the itinerary works, obviously it shows the date and our assumed Shara'i date. So May 31st, and then you can see that the 23rd of Dhul Qa'dah is what we're expecting it to be. These dates could, obviously these dates are accurate, but the when it gets to the these dates here, this could be the 30th of Dhul Qa'dah, and therefore this becomes the 1st of Dhul Hijjah, for example. So there could be some variation, just for letting you know. So that shows the secular date, the Gregorian date, and that one shows the Islamic date. That's the first thing. The second thing is on the left hand side, you will see the prayer times for Medina. So these are Medinan prayer times, start times, okay? They're roughly accurate to a few minutes rather, okay? So 4:03 a.m. is the adhan for Fajr. I'll explain next week about the two adhans that you will hear in Masjid al-Nabawi and in Masjid al-Haram, but then you will hear adhan at about 3 o'clock. That is not the adhan for Fajr. That's the adhan to wake people up and to allow them to pray witr if they haven't prayed already, or to pray tahajjud. We'll explain that. And then there's 4 o'clock is the actual Fajr adhan time. And you will see that I will, there's a golden rule. You should always be in the masjid for the adhan time to make sure you get in. In the busy kind of months like Hajj and the like, you need to do that. It shows what the shuruq time is, 5:32. And then you can see that it shows you the Dhuhr start time, 12:20, 3:42 for the Asr start time, 7:06 Maghrib, and then 8:36 for Salatul Isha. So the prayer times are there. Also, it shows you the breakfast times. So the breakfast times in Medina are between 6:30 a.m. and 10 a.m. And so as you can see that there's an hour difference between even shuruq and breakfast, which is why most of the times in between your Fajr prayer, because if 4:03 is the start time, you're probably going to end up praying Fajr around about 4:30 odd, for example, 4:20, 4:25. You're going to be finishing it around 4:45 and so on. So there's still quite a bit of time left. And so we're going to be expecting as part of our program for people to be spending good time and quality time in the masjid. Anyway, so you can see that the Friday is a day of travel. Now, you would have remembered what I said about the check-in. The check-in time is technically 6 p.m. on this Friday, okay? 6 p.m. on this Friday. Now, these folks are going to arrive early, 2:35. We have some custom flight folks that are arriving in the morning. They're arriving early, around this time, kind of time. Anybody who arrives early, you're going to get yourself to the hotel. Our hotel is called Dalla Tayyiba. All right, it's right there. Obviously, you saw the video from myself and Abid when we went there last couple of months ago. And you're just going to basically chill out. You're going to wait in the lobby. If a prayer time comes, like what will happen for these folks here, like a Dhuhr and Asr, you will leave your luggage basically there. At the airport, there'll be Al-Bayt people. And we are still not being told by Al-Bayt the exact system of how it will be. But keep your wits around you. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. When you arrive to Medina, you're going to the Medina hotels, and you know which hotel you're going to. You're going to see lots and lots of people arriving, lots and lots of different buses, and you're part of Al-Bayt. You're part of Al-Bayt. You're part of the AE program, 9,000, 10,000. These are just numbers and phrases. It doesn't really matter, because your aim is to now get into to Dalla Tayyiba, but we want to do it in the most professional and the most correct way possible. So we're going to try to ensure that Al-Bayt have the buses numbered, and that you will then get onto a very specific bus, and you're going to try to do that. But I just want you to know that worst comes to worst. Imagine it couldn't happen, whatever, something goes wrong. As long as you get yourself to Dalla Tayyiba, but not without telling us first, but not without informing us first. So the group sticks together, remains together, because obviously all of the big groups will be coming in with guides. Okay, you'll have, so the London flights will have Riz and Dr. Abid and Ghassan, Arif and Danish will be on the New York flight that you can see there. This is the same flight. If you look at this flight here, A9000 and A10000, even though they've got two different PNRs, okay, this is the same departing flight, and it'll arrive as one flight at 2:35. It's a very, very good flight, actually, and time of arrival. And Danish and Arif will be with you, and you'll join them, jump onto the bus. Widad will be there on this one that will arrive at the perfect time, which is minimal waiting. By the time you come out of Medina airport, and takes about an hour or whatever maybe to get through, then maybe another half hour to get bags and whatever, get onto the bus, then you might be able to make Isha. I doubt that you make Maghrib, but you might be able to make Isha. And then you're going to be starting to buy the SIMs that we spoke about earlier on, and that we will be speaking about again. I know people are speaking about Airlo and all things like that. They're good. They're like, for those people who have used them before and they like them, I think that they're not fit for purpose. They're not going to give you the amount of freedom that you want. They're certainly more expensive than getting the one that are local. But at the same time, at least you've got immediate data upon arrival. So I don't hate the idea for a few quid to have something, a couple 100 megabytes just to get you through the first day. But every single person will need to buy a SIM card. And the way that this will work is that all of you Americans and Canadians, even if the check-in is open, even if they give you your cards and say, go into your rooms and, get in, and the chief will be there, Uthman will be there. He'll be there before everybody else. And at the hotel, he'll make sure that you guys get all of your room numbers, whether it's before time or whether you should be expecting 6 and making dua that it happens at 2:35, right? You should be hoping that it can happen early, but the hotel has said 6 p.m. Now, by the way, that could also become an 8 p.m. That could become God knows what p.m. But there's absolutely no excuse for that. There's no reason for that, right? The room should be given to us at 6. In actual fact, it should be given to us a lot earlier. I'm hopeful, quietly hopeful, but it's not a contract and it's not an agreement that people should be able to get it early at 2:35 and at 5:45, whatever time they arrive at the airport, arrive at their hotel. I want you to know that as soon as you come in, you're going to look around for the big sellers, and we'll cover this on the broadcast channel, where I put down the names of the companies. Is STC. There is no, they've put that down. If you remember, I told you, Nazmeen, I said to everybody that you can ignore this couple of things that they've put on the SIM card. On the Nusuk. It said SIMs are all provided to everybody. Load of nonsense. They said that there'll be wheelchair assistance. What does that even mean? There's no wheelchair assistance. How can there be wheelchair assistance? What does that even mean? I know there's some kind of like a guide that's going around or whatever. No, none. There has to be, people need to be completely self-sufficient. You can pick up a wheelchair there, or one of your family members is pushing the wheelchair. And by the way, it's still possible that they agree with a phone company like STC or Zain or Mobily. These are the 3 big companies, and they do give you a SIM, but the SIM is free anyway. This is why it's just a nonsense statement. Just it's just standard Nusuk PR. The SIM itself is like £1 or 50p or something. It's what you load it with, which is what's going to cost money. You get what I'm saying? So you will all need your visa, your Hajj visa, to be able to get it. So that's why it's important to have a paper copy or to have it on your phone, and you'll go up to any of the little stalls, and almost definitely in our hotel reception lobby, you'll find some little kid that works for them that will come in with a mobile fingerprint reader and a laptop, and he will be signing people up left, right, and center. And one visa allows you to sign up 2 cards. So if you have a couple, then only, the guy, for example, he should put forward his details and say, I want 2 SIMs, all right? So that he can save his wife going through the whole big headache. So he buys 2 SIMs, and, I've been saying that 20, 30 gigs, 120, 30 kind of reals, 20, 30 pounds is what you're going to be wanting to pay for the data on your SIM. Now, there's 400 of us, and there's like X million that are all going to be doing the same thing. So the early days of arrival is when you should be doing it. So you can see that for the Americans and for the Canadians, I've focused on that kind of, afternoon and between Maghrib for them to do that, okay? those who have arrived early, get some sleep, okay? And then the big group, the Londoners and the Manx, we will arrive the next morning on Saturday early morning. So you can see that the London flight will arrive at 4:20, and then the Turkish flight that I'll be on will arrive at 4:30. So that will be a big load of us. We'll get onto like about 6-7 big coaches, all arrive, and then we're not going to make Fajr. So what we're going to be doing is praying Fajr in the airport, and we're going to be speaking about that. Everyone's going to have to just do it by themselves as quick as they possibly can. It's not going to be very nice Fajr, just going to be praying it here and there and everywhere. Otherwise, we're going to miss it. And then by the time that we get to the hotel, we breakfast time. And then straight after breakfast, we are the ones that are going to be then buying our SIMs. And you'll find that the chief will have already hooked up some people that will be waiting for us in the lobby, and they'll be, processing SIMs. Some of us will sit there and do it with that guy, but the rest of us will use your brains and go out to the shops and go out into the streets and find the other kind of people, and we'll be doing these as well. Okay. Then the first formal actual activity. So up until then, obviously the Americans, Canadians would have been around for a while. They'll be going for Salah and everything. And by the way, when you arrive, the chief will give you a quick orientation, because there are some people that are their first time. And so as soon as we arrive at the hotel, you'll go back out again, and he'll just give you a quick idea. Listen, there's the masjid. Make sure that here's the hotel. Take a picture. Give you some confidence. And then that's the orientation. I will do the same. So when we come in the morning, as soon as the luggage is put into the hotel, and while they're all sorting it, you'll all come back out with me. And this is where we start to use Telegram, and we start to use broadcast. Everyone needs to make sure that they've got those headphones for your phone, because I'm going to go into broadcast, and I'm going to give everybody a quick kind of orientation about where they are and everything. And then there'll be breakfast, and then you're going to get your SIMs, then you're going to rest. And then our first activity is going to be after Salatul Maghrib. And it's really important to realize, as you've seen in the videos, as you've seen in the videos that I recorded in the email that I sent you, that there are different meeting places for different times. This one here is our first meeting point, and so we have to do it in the worst place, which is the hotel lobby. We will never actually end up meeting in a hotel lobby because it's not big enough to meet 400 people. But the reason for the very first time that we're going to say that the hotel lobby is the meeting point, when our actual meeting point is on the road in front of our hotel lobby, is because people will not be able to get there the first time round. So first time round on that Saturday, we're going to be all coming up to the hotel lobby, and then in small groups, we'll take you out to the actual meeting point, so everybody knows that when we say hotel lobby, this is what we mean. We mean this open ground in front of us. In actual fact, I'm going to reshare the video in the broadcast channel later that shows you that place. All right. Myself and Abid, we indicated, you might have seen in the video, I turned to Abid and I said to him, Doc, this place is really nice. Actually, we can use this to gather everybody together. So that's what's going to be after Salatul Maghrib. And what we're going to do is that we're going to have our phones. And this is why it's very important. When you see green, it means an activity. Yeah. And you should always be in advance ready. So if you can see, that after Maghrib, we got this green, then you know that before, in this period of time, meaning, after Asr, I've got to make sure that I've got my headphones with me, I've got my phone with me, that everything's charged, because any green is going to require the use of my headphones and my phone. So then you're going to go to the masjid with your headphones and phone. You're not going to have time to go back up to your room. It's going to be in your pocket. You're going to come after Salatul Maghrib. Once you've prayed Maghrib, you're going to come back to the hotel, meet in the lobby, and then we're going to, or outside the lobby, whatever. And then we're going to go to our, a tour of Masjid Nabawi. Now, then we're gonna. It's just an introduction, just to get you a feel, and really to make everybody aware of the location of the Prophet ﷺ and the etiquettes of salams upon the Prophet ﷺ for all the people that are there during the next few days, both for a formal visit in terms of the Rawdah, as well as giving salams separately. And so I will try to do that with the brothers. The sisters can't do that, in an organized fashion. They will need to do that as part of their Rawdah plan. Now, I want you to notice something, that in this program, we are still being told that theoretically, as a group, we'll be given some kind of permit that will allow us to visit the Rawdah. Yeah, that Nusuk will be looking after the people in that way. You know my golden rule: trust no one. Trust absolutely nobody, and only trust yourself. Depend upon yourself. That's the reason that we are going to, as individuals, book as private individuals on the app, hoping that they do come back with a certificate that allows all of us as a group to go in and visit the Rawda. But I don't think it will happen. It didn't happen last year, and it was promised, and I don't think it will happen this year either. So we will, as individuals, choose times. Now, you'll see that I have indicated 2 periods of times for this. So you can see that on the Saturday, there's a period of time here, and I've made it after Isha, and you'll see that I have said that it should be for the brothers to consider this time between yani straight after Isha, and then there's a very late kind of time there for their sisters as well. And I'm going to just need to hurry up a little bit because I've just realized I'm going into too much detail if I'm going to be honest. So I'm going to reduce the detail a little bit. This recommendation is for my Canadians and Americans. Okay. And the reason for that is because just like they had an early night on the day they traveled, this should be the early night for our lot. Okay, the rest of us, we should be going to sleep straight after Isha or straight after dinner. Dinner, it starts at 7 p.m., but we're going to eat it after Isha on this Saturday. So then I would expect all of the UK lot and custom lot to basically not use this because we have a second slot. Now, this is not where I think the Canadians and the Americans should be. This is where I think the rest of the people should be utilizing the next day. And this is a good time to book. Again, don't worry about this right now. I will be rewriting this in the broadcast, whatever. I'm just giving you an idea that that's when we're intending for people to book. If they come through, Al-Bayt, Nusuk, then we will, go at whatever the group time is. All right. Then Sunday. This is our main and most important day of the Medinan stay, the single biggest important day, which is why I really want people to go to sleep as quick as possible. I'm not going to lie, I don't hate the idea that even the Canadians and the Americans, they might not even book here, and also they might also focus on this as well, all to get a really good night's sleep on this night. Why? Because Sunday's a long, busy day. So when we wake up, you might not decide to do tahajjud because you're going to sleep that day. The Americans might, because they've had an extra kind of sleep there. Once we do our Salatul Fajr, and I know that this breakfast kind of it will confuse people because it's there. We had to keep it there, but you got to focus on the time. So 5 a.m. was obviously before 6:30, so it should be actually in this area here, but it's not. Okay, so I want you to see that by the time that you finish Salatul Fajr, we are going to meet at the hotel lobby at 5 a.m. And I want you to, and we'll cover this obviously, but you're going to make sure that when you're going to Salatul Fajr, when you're making wudu, you're going to make a wudu for the intention of going to pray in Masjid Quba. By doing this intention at this period of time, when you're here at the Hajj time, or when you're getting ready for Fajr, it means that nobody will have to go back to the room. And this will be a obligatory walk, okay? This is going to be walked to Quba. It's a couple of kilometers, okay? It's not a difficult walk. And it is part of our study series and tour. We will be doing it on the radios, the headphones. So when you have woken up on this morning, on Sunday morning, at this time, you are packing your phone, you are packing sunglasses, right? You are bringing sunglasses with you. Again, you're not going to go back to your room. You're going to make sure you got your headphones. You're going to have a hat for the ladies or whatever. You're going to be, you're going to be as comfortable as you can be, and then we're going to meet in the lobby at 5 a.m. and then off we're going to go. We're going to go all the way to Masjid Quba. Every single person, even the people who cannot walk, we're going to take those folks as a group in the wheelchairs that you're going to be walking those around. So if you know that, this is a walk, it's going to be an hour long at least, and it's going to be quite hot. It's going to be very early, but it's going to be still hot, and you're going to be testing yourselves out. This is a very, very important activity because this will be your first opportunity to feel the heat, the exhaustion, and whatever, training yourself ready for what's happening later. Then we're going to come back and have breakfast. So by the time we come back, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever, we're going to have 7, 8, 9 o'clock, whatever time it is that we come back, we're then going to then have breakfast. And then the sisters, I'm highly recommending that this will be a time for your Rawda. And when you got times written by us, it means that when you go into the app, you'll see that. The brothers, I'm recommending between Dhuhr and Asr. Whatever happens, this is an opportunity, in my opinion, that you should rest. Why? Because this day is a long day. Because after Maghrib, we have a change the plan. Normally, we'll be having dinner after Isha, but on this day, we're going to be having it after Maghrib. You're going to come straight back to the hotel, have your dinner, and then you're going to be going straight back out for Isha. Why? Because straight after Isha, we're going to a very important activity, a very important tour. So straight after Salatul Isha, you're going to come back to the lobby, which is going to be that ground outside. And this will be the first major logistical challenge where we get all 400 people onto buses and then go to Uhud and to the graveyards of the Shuhada, and a very important kind of a part of the program. All right. And then we've got a bit of an easier kind of day. By the way, this is the difference between the Hajj Tarbiyah program and the Umrah Tarbiyah program. The Umrah is a far more relaxed holiday type, lots more activities, whereas Hajj is more focused at base camp because of the less time in Medina and the more kind of busy kind of period. So just making you aware that we're leaving these gaps for people to recover. It is important that we do shopping as well in Medina, because that's where the best shopping is. Also, we're going to be getting dates, and we're going to be ordering some dates as well for on behalf of the group, some of the highest quality and the dates which are that people get done over, the difficult dates, which is the Ajwa dates. Otherwise, other ones we're going to be recommending some places to go to, best prices and all the rest of it. I will be writing an email about that later. Then on the Monday, this is Monday, in the afternoon, on Telegram, between Maghrib and Isha, wherever you are, whether you're in the hotel or whether you're at the masjid, we're going to do a review of Umrah rules. The reason that we're having such a big seminar next week is because we do not have the time or the ability to be able to do this over there. So rather, it will be a recap of the Q&A, and we're going to do it on Telegram. And then everybody's going to pack up. You're going to spend this day final shopping and packing up, right? This final day, until that by 9 p.m., right? 9 p.m. and it's up to you how you want to do your dinner and everything else. But by 9 p.m., all of your big suitcases have to be packed up outside your room. Have to be all outside your room. You've got to make sure that you don't have your medication in there. You're going to keep that in your hand luggage inside your rooms. But the big suitcases all have to be outside, okay? Men got to make sure, obviously, that your ihram is not in there. Ladies, you've got to make sure your ihram's not in there, because then on the next day, which is the Tuesday, the day of our transit, you'll see the yellow transit there. Yellow is always meaning a movement. Then we're going to be getting ready in the morning. We intend to be leaving around, we're not too 100% sure yet, but around about 11, 12, 1 p.m., that kind of time is when we're going to be leaving. Our current plan is that we're going to pray Dhuhr and Asr in Masjid al-Nabawi. For those folks who don't like combining, then we will leave an option for them to pray Asr later, so that's not a problem. However, my recommendation will be very clear about combining, because that's the way that you'll maximize the reward of the day. Otherwise, that'll be the plan, and we'll speak about ihram, bathing, and all the rest of it next week. That's what the whole next week is. We're going by train, all of us, alhamdulillah, even though that was not part of our package. Actually, that is something that Al Bayt has upgraded our package to, and we'll just take it, I guess. I'm not a massive fan of the train, but you guys will love it. Very smooth, very calm. We'll then arrive. We should have no problem checking in immediately to the Makkah hotel. So there shouldn't be too much of a delay. The team will go early to try to make sure that is as smooth as possible. And then we'll have a plan, basically, which we'll cover next week. I'm not going to speak about this anymore. We will basically be doing Umrah most of the night. Okay, most of the night. I'm not going to say another word about that, because that's all the entire content of next week, next week's thingy. And then likewise, the rest of next week is going to be speaking about all of this stay in Mecca as well. So I don't want to speak about that either. All right. You can just see, though, that on the Wednesday, we're going to be recovering. We're going to do one orientation, because this will be the first time in daylight that you will see, because when we arrive in Mecca, it'll be evening or the day before, but this morning, just like Yani, you got the orientation when you arrived in Medina, you're going to get an orientation in Mecca, where I start explaining to you the very complicated system of doors and timings and everything, because it's much, much different. All right, so we'll speak about that. And then you're going to be given some advice, which I'm going to speak about next week, about what you're going to be doing in Mecca. There'll be some group activities as well, which you're going to enjoy, inshallah. The best of them will be the group tawaf, which means that we will be doing a tawaf together on Telegram. So doing it physically, but also listening in whilst we do a tour of the Kaaba. And we're hoping to do one in the night as well on the roof, which will be something unique. If we're able to pull that off, then that would be fantastic. You're going to love that. Then the next day will be the day that we move on. This is sorry, not that day. That will be, this will be your last day. That will be the Saturday, okay? That Saturday, June the 8th, will be the last day that we take full advantage of being right next to the haram, and you'll pack up again just like last time. You got a bit more time, maybe a bit later, so you might maybe a little bit earlier. You're going to pack up your bags again. All these bags will have been labeled by you, and they'll have correct stickers. And according to stickers, and sometimes we're going to be telling you also to write a certain number onto your sticker as well. We'll release, details. Everybody, please write on your label this. Please write that on your label, so that we can try to make the system. By the way, Danish, I don't know why you wrote this. I think this is a copy and paste job. This is not relevant about hotels and the trains and whatever. This is going to base camp, yeah, just so that you're aware of this edit. But we don't need to release another edit just for that. Now, then on the next day, it's going to be an interesting day because our bags will have gone, but we still have the hotel rooms. So our big bags have gone, but we're going to remain in our hotel rooms. We're going to have our breakfast. We're going to enjoy the haram all day, even until Maghrib. And then we're going to have our dinner after Maghrib, okay, is what I understand. That might change. It might be after Isha. It might actually be after Isha, by the way. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that might be after Isha. Oh, by the way, these are the Makkah prayer times. So you can see that they're very, very similar. So if you look at Wednesday and you look down, you will see that these are and obviously every day, add 2 minutes to it. Take 2 minutes away from it. From the Fajr time, that'll get earlier, and these will get 1 or 2 minutes more. So it'll be 22 and then 23 that day. And so you can imagine like any normal kind of calendar. Yeah. So on this day here, we're all going to actually leave for base camp in the evening. So our night is going to be in base camp, and that's going to be a process in itself. And very likely that, many of us might not even go to sleep on that Sunday night. Monday, that will be our first kind of arrival day. And then it'll be a day of rest and recovery. And then you'll see that we now are going to be establishing, we have our own masjid in base camp. So you will see that we have Jama'ah times. We haven't put down start times here. We've just put Jama'ah times. So we'll be praying together with Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar. So the morning Fajr will be at 4:45. Then the Dhuhr will be at 2 p.m. and then 4:30. And then Maghrib obviously, and Jama'ah will be 9:30. And people might say, well, I want to go to the Haram. You are free to do what you want. You will not be forced to do anything. However, those who know will know that the program has been designed with your best interests at heart. And the reason that I give you so much time in the Haram beforehand is so that you can then relax and recuperate and get your body ready for the big days ahead. So that first day is going to then be, we're going to start a program. Don't need to tell you too much about this now. The evening adhkar and morning adhkar is going to be a session where everybody is going to make sure they learn all of this whilst we're there, the system, the adab, the rules, and we will do it together as well so that people get their tongues ready and used to it. And teachers will be able to help other people who are behind on their development, and everything else is going to be easy for everyone of all levels. Then we're going to do a base camp orientation where we're going to go and walk around our area and get ourselves used to the idea of the areas of Mina, the areas of Jamarat, the areas of Hajj. It's going to be a nice evening kind of vibe, actually, between Maghrib and Isha. Dinner and everything is served, in a restaurant in base camp. You would have seen the videos from last year. You would have, if you go to the Hajj with the website, you'll see that the base camp experience is what it is. And we're going to speak about this later. Now, I don't want to really. You can have a look that every morning there'll be a system where once we've prayed our Fajr Jama'ah, then every morning we'll be doing adhkar together, and then we will have Quran class where every single person is going to try to improve their Quran regardless of levels. And then you've got opportunity to go to sleep if you want, okay, to get some rest. You can take breakfast before or after, no problem. You go to have breakfast, then go sleep, or go to sleep, have breakfast afterwards. But every morning then, between 10 to 2, we're going to be having a class. Okay, so you will see this section every morning. And then if there are people that want to go to the Haram, then it makes sense that, you go when it's a bit more calm and quiet outside. I'm generally saying that if you want to go, then go for Maghrib and Isha if you really want to. But otherwise, I'm saying stay behind. If you want to go after Dhuhr and catch Asr, Maghrib and Isha, you are more than welcome to do so. All right. But we will continue with the program. There'll be evening adhkar sessions, and then we'll be doing specific Q&A sessions. And these are very popular and they're very important as well. And there'll be other sessions that will be added ad hoc as we see it and as we need it. There'll be some of my friends that will be around as well, inshallah. I'm going to try and get those guys down. They might give a few reminders here and there, do some Q&A sessions as well. That depends upon the closeness of where they are. because a lot of them still, they're not as organized as we have been, and as Al Bayt have been. To be honest, Al Bayt, I told you guys they're the leaders. They're the leaders for a reason, right? So a lot of the other guides and a lot of other people have absolutely no idea at all, even if they're going Hajj, or what they're doing and who they're with. But if it works out, then Yasser will be close as well. Sulaiman will be close as well, and I'll get these guys normally, and they will come to my program if I agree to do their group as well, and I will, so that you guys can have time. But it's not a promise, but we'll see. So there's an opportunity for those guys between Maghrib and Isha. Normally is when we leave for them. Then it'll be chilling time in the evenings. Nice to enjoy the base camp area. And then we will leave then for the days of Hajj on the Friday, the June the 14th. There will be no Jum'ah. There will be no Jum'ah. And by the way, you will be travelers throughout this entire trip. This is in line with the Hanafi school, and the rest of us, the rest of the group who are non-Hanafis, will be adopting the Hanafi position. The Hanafi position is that a person in any location of more than 14, 15 days is only a traveler up until those periods of time if they're staying. And of course, at no period of time in any city are we staying for that long. And so therefore, we will be travelers from beginning to end. That does not mean much difference to our programs, but I just want you to know that we will not be on the move. We will either establish Jum'ah ourselves, depending upon where we are. But if we're in Mina, for example, then we will be praying normal Salah. We will not be praying a formal Jum'ah. This will be, I just want you to know that if you're thinking I'm going to go to the Haram or not, or whatever, that is not an option. That is not on the tables. You wouldn't be able to do it anyway, actually. You won't be able to, you won't have the permission to be able to do that from authorities. Actually, you'll see that from the 6th, actually technically from the 4th, but from the 6th, you'll see the roadblocks increase massively around Mecca. You won't be able to find, transport. It's not going to be very, very easy. And then it's all the acts of Hajj, which again is something I don't want to speak about at all right now. We've got lots and lots of time to speak about that, but you can now look at all of this, and we can maybe touch upon this next week, but not now. You got lots of, the yellows are all the big actions of Hajj, okay, and the breakdowns. And then you can see that we intend to stay till the 13th as per the Sunnah, but we'll also keep it relaxed. Those people who want to come back to their base camp on the 12th, that will work as well. Again, this is going to confuse people. It should be confusing because we've not covered it, and we're not covering it because we've got so much time and sessions, and I've got to be disciplined and not waste time now because I want to do the question and answers. All the people with their departures, so you'll see that the yellows roughly indicate departure. And by the way, that's not the flight time. So your flight time is not between Dhuhr and Asr on Thursday the 20th. What this is indicating is that you need to leave at least 8 hours before your flight leaves. And so if you need to leave the hotel at 8 hours before, then you need to make sure that an action known as Tawaful Wida, which I'll cover later, needs to be done way before then as well. But because different flights are going at different times, our classes and our adhkar and everything will continue for those people who are still around, whereas those people who are going to leave, they're going to leave. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a fantastic Hajj itinerary. I'm very happy about it. By the way, everything's going to be so great. And I just want you to see, this is real. This is exactly what you're going to be when you're checking in at Jeddah airport, and you'll realize it's an absolute nightmare. And that's Shazad Salim Miskeen, who fell asleep in the actual queue. And of course, there was no chance that I was missing out on that picture. This is what your mood's going to be like. But when you get home that night, you're going to be sleeping better than this guy right here. By the way, I'm bringing my own pillow. Just want you to know. And I don't mind anybody hating on that. Definitely bringing my own pillow. All right, that's the thingy. We're now going to go into how do I do this now? We're now going to go into am I back on screen with that? Is it all, did that work?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, okay. All right. So that was great. That's the first time I ever did that. And I am going to upload this to the thing. You can take the thing off, by the way, with that, the slow mode thing, which they can now get back to writing. And now I'm going to take some questions. Make sure that everybody is all happy and up to date. Let me just get in the questions. Where are the questions, man? The amount of times that I've brought these questions up onto the screen and I just keep losing the file is absolutely insane. All right, here we are. All right. can I pick up my luggage tags next Sunday, as I don't think you're able to come? Yeah. Anybody, by the way, this is not something so private. If you've told someone to pick up your luggage stuff for you, whether they're friends or family or whoever they are, then just make sure you tell them. And then when you come up to the team, you say that I'm picking up so-and-so's as well. And we're going to be given on a trust basis. There's no sensitive information being given, but we can't have a system of checking. That's just beyond our remit. Okay. People are asking about times of flights and everything. That's all written on the flights email. You've got the hajjwithae.com/hajj2024, which has got all of the flight times as well. I can't believe that question is being asked, by the way. What is the purpose of unscented wipes? What we mean by that is that you'll see that when you go to like a bake or the chicken shop, you'll eat, and then they give you a very perfumed wipe because they want it to smell of lemon. They want it to smell fresh, and it's a very perfumed smell. And a number of scholars, they said this is perfuming, not allowed in ihram. And personally, I've got some reservations against that. I don't think it's a major issue. However, I think it's safer to just follow that opinion, especially the Hanafis are very strict about that. And I like the idea that we should be cautious on it as well. And so therefore, we will also respect that. And so that's what we mean by unscented wipes. You'll find that wipes come useful on the coaches, on the trains, when you're eating food and the like and whatever. I'm not a big wipe fan, right? And I'll speak about that next week, but that's what it means. Not received the flight tickets. Nothing to say about that. Will the webinar on the 19th be recorded? Okay, that's us right now. Yes, it is. I've had visa, but no email regarding flight or PNR number. Why would you receive that when I've been telling you you're not receiving that? Right. I've read that the high-speed thingamajig train does not allow luggage. That's correct. It doesn't. You do not need to pay for extra luggage because your luggage is taken by road the night before, okay? As you just saw in our presentation, it will be taken the night before onto trucks. It will get there to the hotel, onto the floors ready, and then you will follow our instructions when you get to the hotel. We are on our trains only going to be carrying bare minimum cabin bags, okay? And that's the only space that it has. You've been recommending compression socks. Why is that? Ladies tend to have edema more. Everybody will have edema, swelling, the heat. That's the reason. There'll be some times where you'll not be able to move and you'll need to be able to put them on. It's a recommendation. You are not obligated to use it at all, okay? It's just a recommendation. You'll see that a lot of people really are grateful that they were told in advance. Is it okay? Is it preferred to get a lower sun protection factor for sun cream that is not water resistant, or 100 that is 80 minutes water resistance? And is it okay to use tinted sunscreen in ihram? I don't know what tinted sunscreen is, but on the issue of water resistant, so that's a problem, obviously. If it's so thick and so actually resistant, so kind of hydrophobic that it doesn't allow any water to penetrate the skin, then that's a problem for wudu. So you've got to balance I'm not a fan of, personally, I'm not a sun cream user, and I will go out there and I will get burnt to an absolute cinder, and that happens to me every single year, okay? And it's not good, and I've probably got all of the all of the signs for skin cancer, blah blah blah. I'm not the best example, but I know that you folks are not as burnt and as tough as I am, so you guys have got to do what you got to do to protect your skin. And I don't like it because of that wudu kind of situation. But I'm pretty sure that there'll be ones out there that allow the water to go through. I'm not an expert. What I can tell you from an Islamic point of view is that if your product that you're using, tinted, not tinted, foundation, not foundation, 1 million SPF or 50 SPF, if it completely blocks water accessing your skin, then you're going to have to somehow wipe that stuff off every time you make wudu. It is what it is. That's it. Okay? You can get something which is a bit better or whatever. On the question, Noura, I will get back to you on that personally. We spoke about abayas and fabric conditioner. It's not the rest of your abayas. It's when you are in ihram, you want to... Actually, for a lady, her clothes should never be strongly smelling of perfume anytime, by the way. Let me just make that clear. But in ihram, it's especially a big issue. I think fabric conditioner at the very light level is not a problem. Like I said, if you have to deep smell it in to smell it, then it's not an issue. But if you can smell it easily, then that's a problem. Ashfaq asks about what type of Hajj. We're going to be covering that during our Hajj sessions and the like. As a group, we will be doing tamattu', but every person's Hajj is an option for them, however they want to do Qiran or Ifrad. Tamattu' is the way of the Prophet ﷺ. It makes more sense as well. It's easier as well. It's the more complete and the longer version as well. Everything points to tamattu', which is why the Ummah generally is behind tamattu'. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. Last year I did Ifrad, for example. There are certain reasons we might look at a person's medical situation. This, that, I'll be having to look at scenarios, and maybe an emergency might happen. I might need to give a ruling for an individual. The situation is flexible. You want to do a particular type, then we will do that. But we will be covering that later. Another question he asks is the sacrifice. Can you do it for the family or is it just for two? So I want to make a differentiation between the sacrifice of Hajj and the sacrifice which is known as Qurbani. The Qurbani, which is given by people who do not go to Hajj, is an offering which many scholars consider obligatory for those who can afford it, to be an offering that is given on behalf of a family, especially young folks, but every adult that has the financial means should do it. So just like last year that you did it for Eid al-Adha, it's either one sheep or it's 1/7 of a cow and the like, and it's given for the sake of the people of your community, neighbors in your community. Your family eats from it, and the poor get it as well. The udhiyah, which is the same qurbani but is part of the Hajj rites, is a separate act entirely, and every individual needs to do it. Every individual, whatever the age is, and it needs to happen on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, at the right time in the right order, especially with the Hanafi school, which is very, very important for them. But we're all going to be doing the same system anyway, so it doesn't matter. And so every individual will be doing that. And as you know, we're all going to be doing it privately. You're going to bring your money. We covered all that before. I can't remember what the numbers are. We'll have to go back and revise those in one of the messages somewhere. And we're going to be buying it from a private supplier. It's better. It's cheaper. We're going to be informed privately as well. It's a good result. That in itself is for your Hajj. Its meat will be distributed amongst the mustahiqeen according to the Sharia. We will not access it. We will not be there to do it. We're not allowed to be there to do it. And that's something we're just not able to put on. Some people are allowed and possible to do that, but those are people who are normally doing Hajj by themselves many times, and they're going to go off and not be with a group and all that kind of thing. But as part of a group, that's not going to happen. So you need to be ready. You're not going to taste any of the meat. You're not going to have any of it. It's all going to go out to charity. Right. If you want to do an extra one, extra by that I mean the one that you normally do every year when you are non-Hajji, you are completely okay to do that. And you can do that in a number of ways. You can carry on doing it with a charity back home in America or UK or in Pakistan, wherever you're doing it. And it's known as a Qurbani, and it's nothing to do with the Hajj, is separate. Or you can do another one in the Hajj. But the intention for it is that it is just for the sake of Allah as a Qurban. The word Qurban, by the way, Qurbani, what does it mean? Qurban means to get close to Allah as an act of charity. So you're doing it as an act of charity. And that's something which is permissible. Okay, folks? Again, people asking about details of flights and everything. Abdullah, by the way, your situation is slightly different because your PNR is from London and it shows the Manchester one, but you're actually you'll be contacted. Everybody will be, if you all follow my instructions, when I tell you all individually where you're going to be, everybody other than 5 people, know exactly where their flights are and what time. It's all on your Nusuk portal. You've received emails about it. You've got very clear kind of details about that. Also on the Rafiq app, you'll see your e-ticket as well. So you don't need to ask that question. The other 5 people who don't or have got some mix up between London, Manchester, blah, 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 you'll be contacted individually. You've got nothing to worry about at all. I'm talking about Munawwar. I'm talking about Nasmeen. I'm talking about Zakaria. I'm talking about Abdullah. I'm talking about Rifat's mum. I'm talking about Auntie Zainab. I'm talking about some other people which I can't remember as well. Okay, that's just off the top of my head. Everybody now needs to really lock down on phones. Okay, you got to get your phones unlocked. You got to make sure and check that it's unlocked. Put somebody else's SIM card. Make sure that it's working. So important. Every member of your family needs to have an unlocked phone. They need to learn how to use Telegram. They need to download the apps that I've just added, the Quran Dhikr one, the Dhikr Dua one, the Quran one, the What 3 Words one. Everyone needs to be independent in an emergency. Everybody needs to be able to take care of themselves. It doesn't matter how old they are and how much language problems they have. Everybody should be taught in the next 2 weeks how to use their phone, whether you are with them in Hajj or not. It's your responsibility. Yeah. I can only hold a person's hand so much. Emergency is emergency. My own uncle last year got lost. And I'm telling you, man, the amount of time that I spent trying to teach him this, that, whatever, blah, blah, and other family members, whatever, whatnot. He got lost for 28 hours. It was a mission. And anyway. And in the end, it was because he was able to get back into his phone and he remembered one small thing that he was able to reach out and get back to a key place. Everybody needs to be trained on that. Okay. What else? We typically have our hair braided. How will the cutting be? The people who have braided hair is the easiest. It's the people who have got loose hair, which is the problem. If it's braided, then you've already got it together, isn't it? Then you gather the braids and then tuck. We will speak about that later. It's the ones who have got, or what's it called, layers, or they've got different lengths. That's a mission, that is. Then you've got to keep going from there, and then from there, and then from there. We'll speak about that next week. Toothpaste, no problem at all. Ihram, irrespective of gender, needs to be fragrance-free, correct? Spoke about that earlier on. Expiry date of the meningitis certificate, people have posted. You've seen that it's not a problem. The key information is is that it shows the product date and the product expiry. The 3 years or 5 years validity is based upon the actual stamp date, okay, not the actual date of the thingamajig itself. There will be no extra sacrifices that people will need to give, as you might get told. Don't worry about that. I'll cover that next week. The visas, guys, I've said it before. If your middle name is missing, don't worry about it. If your middle name has been added and you don't have a middle name, but the middle name is your father's name and grandfather's name, you don't need to worry about that either. What you do need to do, though, is to have a copy of your father's passport, okay, or your grandfather's passport. And you say, this is my grandfather, this is just in case. By the way, the Saudis will never give you a problem. It will be the check-in staff that will. If there's some jobs worth that wants to make a point that day, then they're going to make a point that day. So that person, we're going to need to show the person, that listen, this is my name. I know the visa says this, and that's because that's my father's name, middle name. In the Saudis, they call a person by their father's name, middle name. Very, very simple. But in all of the airports, the guides will be there to help you out in case any kind of situation comes ahead like that. Medical care, really important question. I covered this actually before as well, in two different things, two different webinars. All the Hujjaj are covered for medical emergencies, not for medical treatment. Okay, so and it's not just during the days of Hajj. This is for every person on a Hajj visa. Okay, we're very fortunate to have Doc, who's the best doctor on this planet. Allahumma barik, mashallah. That I wouldn't go to any other person. He will be the one. If you are in an emergency, then he will be the one that will say it's an emergency. We're going by ambulance, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like normal A&E and just have to be, treated, dealt with as an emergency. But actual elective surgery, as we call it, elective treatment, that can't happen here. If you've got medical insurance separate, then you can opt to do that and then organize for it privately. But as part of Hajjis, every Hajj visa has emergency medical, whether you're from Pakistan, India, from Bangladesh, from USA, all get the same level of cover. They don't check your passport or anything like that. It's absolutely fine, by the way. You won't need it, hopefully. We have a very, very well-qualified team. Many of us have got medical backgrounds. It's one of the strengths of our group. We have Riz, as part of the team, is paramedic. It's an insult to call Abid a GP. He's a super GP, meaning he is way beyond that qualified. He is field trained. That's the difference. And field trained is what it's all about. And if there's an emergency, then you'll be looked after. Don't worry about that. Purchasing the ihram in Medina, unless you have one, yes. Otherwise, everybody will be getting theirs in Medina. And I'm pretty much clear that is all of the outstanding questions. If your deodorant is unscented and it says parfum written on it, and then fragrance, it doesn't matter. If it's unscented and you smell it and it just smells of nothing floral, nothing XYZ, then it's fine. And it shouldn't be deodorant, it should be antiperspirant if you're going to be using anything like that. You can get body massages out there, there's no problem for that. Tranexamic acid is not that important. If you can't get hold of it because of problems, then that's fine. You can get some over there. It just helps if a person's in out of control bleeding. That's all. If you can get some, great. If you can't, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. If a lady is missing Umrah on the 4th of June as part of the movements, will we be able to do it in a few days? Yeah, we covered that, right? We said that in our menstruation seminar. We covered that in detail. Plenty of time to do it whilst we're in Mecca. If not, then plenty of time to do it whilst in base camp. And if not, then we'll change the niyyah to a different type of Hajj. You will not miss out. You will not miss out, inshallah. There's a question. I have a class, a one-to-one Quran class that I do over Zoom. Do you reckon that I cancel it? Yes, I do. I do think that not cancel it, I mean, but to put it on hold for 3 weeks. And I would expect that they expect you to do that as well. And you can say to them that I will be doing plenty of Quran. I won't let you guys down. Planning to not go northeastern and go natural. My menses are due again on June 2nd when we'll be in Medina. Does this mean I cannot take part in the Rawda? The 4 Imams don't allow you to go to the Rawda with that situation. I myself don't have a problem with it. I will give you the fatwa, but if you prefer to follow one of the madahib, I'm just giving you full disclaimer that they do not allow you to do it, okay? But from my point of view, you can go to the Rawda, but you can't do anything in there. But then if you saw my videos, which you should have, okay? I don't know if anyone's actually listening to me at all in anything to do with Hajj. But if you have, then you will see that the reason you go to the Rawda is to actually sit back and observe, and not to pray and make dua and like all the people do. There's no evidence whatsoever that they are increased in any kind of reward. Otherwise, the Prophet ﷺ would have told us and made it clear. He didn't. It's very instructive that he didn't. What's more important is for us to soak up how amazing it is and to visualize what it would be like. Again, watch my video on it. I don't think that you need to worry about it. But yeah, I get FOMO. I get the idea that, you know, I want to go in. You can go in. All right, you can go in. But you do know that it wasn't just for the Rawda that we encouraged ladies that had some doubt to then take the northeastern. Otherwise, not taking it is not a problem. Yeah, again, you should remember what we did. Right. Nyla's telling me very clearly, don't you dare skip a question. I will not skip anything. Okay, let's go and do this. What day and time did ladies book Rawda? As I don't want it to conflict. Now you know, you've seen the times. But again, Nyla, we will. Your plan is the times that you've seen on the itinerary. But if we get a group option. So, for example, I can't do it according to the system because it only allows you to do one, and like a lot of the group leaders and a lot of people being on Umrah, they will not be able to do it on Nusuk. Let me just make it clear. Nusuk app will not allow a person to go to the Rawda if they have been in the last 365 days. You lot are going to be hoping somehow that Nusuk gives a group entry to everybody. If they do, great. If they don't, you're not going to go into the Rawda. No loss. It's not a staple of the Hajj and it's not a staple of Medina. It's a nice extra. By the way, you're very fortunate that you got such a detailed video from me about the Rawda, which is almost half the job done, frankly, especially when there's no acts of worship to be done. Well, I could say that 1,000 times and you wouldn't care and you wouldn't believe me. So I know that I'm just wasting my time with that. But anyway, I'm just letting you know that. Also, we're doing Umrah and Hajj together as a group. How do we stay together? No, and I'll speak about that. I'll be there every step of the way. But if you trusted the process, you will not want me to be anywhere near you. And you will not want the group to be with you either. Again, I'll speak about that next week. What date and times the lectures? I think I answered that question. I prefer to shop in Medina, where our Prophet ﷺ was welcomed. Okay, I don't know if that's actually a reason to shop in Medina, but okay. Is there a luggage service that will take our luggage to Aziziyah? Yes, that's right. You will not need to worry about your luggage. The trucks will take it to Mecca, and then from Mecca, it will take it to whatever. You make a very good point. You see, the last point is, she goes, I've got 4 questions and I've got 1 suggestion. Your suggestion is a really good one because I completely forgot. Charity. We will be collecting charity. There'll be 2 things that I have not spoken about. One is that we will not be recommending sales and we'll be recommending them off kind of the cuff informally. But We have a very good relationship with the best Ajwa of Medina. There's a very detailed email coming out. I want you all to read that carefully. But secondly, we do a lot of charity work in Mecca and Medina in two main categories. First, there are a number of families of people who are in quite severe poverty. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of immigrants, people who have got no legal status, a lot of refugees, a lot of Syrians, a lot of Palestinians, a lot of other people, especially from the African countries that are there, and their families. Some of them are students. So we give a significant portion of money to those folks. And then the rest we give to the service staff that we know get very, very little sums of money. Americans are used to this. The Brits are not. The Americans understand that people get very small wages and they depend upon tips. We will then be giving out money to a lot of these people as well. You can give in all currencies, okay? So we are recommending we're recommending you to bring as much opportunity of sadaqah as you can. Obviously, it's a great time to give. It's the holy time as well. It will support and help your acts of ibadah as well. If you can bring envelopes in advance, you will help us out, okay? Otherwise, over there, it's tough. We can't be taking cash like that. It will need to be enveloped. It will need to be separated. And we will be asking you. So, for example, when you want to give it to what we call the workers, you'll say you're going to have to write for the workers. And if you put for the students, then it means that we're going to give it to the needy that we see as it is. These are the two categories that we'll be collecting for. The workers, meaning there's so much service staff that we know that they're difficult scenarios. So we look after those folks. And then you've got the workers. So make a note of that. Jazakumullah khairan, you get all the reward of that. Well done. Rest of the stuff I've answered. Is there any way to avoid getting the vaccine? Well, I'll tell you something, man. My arm is still hurting. I got Moderna yesterday. Salma, you'll be happy to know that I was a chicken all yesterday. I felt like a chicken. I woke up this morning squawking as well. But I'm still human, alhamdulillah. You don't need to get the vaccine for COVID, which is what I got last night. But meningitis, you should get it. You will be asked about it as far as we're being told. And someone told me as a female not able to wear sunglasses. No, that's fine. You're allowed. I know why they say that, but that's fine. And I'm currently on a monthly injection as part you're on Zoladex, okay. Due on 7th, can I advise? Yeah, we'll deal with that. No problem at all. Okay, as long as you're able to keep it cold in the fridges in the hotel, we will make sure that we get that either female or male according to your own situation. And that is all, alhamdulillah. Oh, right, very good. I will be speaking about the parking at Chido Masjid. There is a challenge, so I'll be speaking about that, inshallah. Do you need a letter from the GP to carry regular medication? If you just got a copy of prescription, that'd be fine. You don't need a letter unless you've got some dodgy, like diazepam and got benzodiazepines and, serious drugs and thingy. Welcome, Chief. Thank you for joining us. Anyway, most new phones don't allow for physical SIMs. Is it best to bring a second phone or do an eSIM? Is that true? I don't know about that, bro. But yeah, you do need to get a phone with a SIM card. The three companies that we want you to use definitely need a SIM card. Yeah. People from the USA didn't do any biometrics. No, you will do your biometrics on arrival. They'll be taking your fingerprints then. And Mariam asking about the problem in the thing, a problem in Nusuk app, then that will we'll get guidance on that. That's one of the reasons why we haven't released it, and that's the reason why I haven't been promoting it, because it's not working properly, and that's the Hajj Ministry and that's Nusuk's fault. We need to understand how to do that properly. Okay. Can men have a crossbody pack as an ihram belt? No, that's okay. That's allowed. Okay. We'll be speaking about dying over there next week. I will be bringing a normal pillow, and this is only for base camp because I don't like the small thin pillows. I need a support. I get a lot of pains, so I need to do that. And this is the last question, and then if there's something very important that needs to be on a mic, then we'll take that. These are the last questions. Are we allowed to conduct business whilst in Mina, whilst in state of ihram? It is permissible, but it's not good, and I think that you should try to avoid that. Okay, but we'll speak about that. I'll be covering this next week. Actually, haven't been able to sign in. That I know that because Nusuk. That's fine, and that's fine. And finally, I'm getting an exemption letter from a doctor that is part of your team to excuse me from showing the meningitis vaccine. If you're able to get that letter, because I don't know whether that will thing is it fine. I don't know. No, none of us can tell you that. They tell us that it's obligatory. If they let you in, they let you in. I'll say this much: meningitis is not a major issue in terms of the checking, because they will then make you take an antiviral tablet. I've seen that. Now, I've also seen them say, open your mouth and put it in. I've seen people put it underneath the tongue and throw it out. So, you know, I can't say certain things, but I don't think you need to worry about it, inshallah. Okay? And people saying the Nusuk app can't be found in Apple Store, that is really drives me mental, because I'm the one who gave you the link. So why would you be looking for it elsewhere? Just follow instructions, folks, okay? Everyone can do second Umrah and different things. We'll cover that next week. All right, no more questions about Umrah. Your people have focusing on Umrah as opposed to the itinerary or other questions. Anyone that needs to take the mic or put your hands up, what's it called? With that, if you want to just give people a few minutes on the microphone, then I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Where are we? Yeah, go ahead.
I've allowed Akil and Mumtaz.
So Mumtaz first, and Akil.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Salam, Mumtaz.
Sheikh, if you are, do we need to wear the ihram in Medina, or are we, and we have to do the niyat in the train, or we are doing the niyat on the miqat?
We'll be doing the niyyah on the train itself. We will have changed in the hotel and do niyyah on the train.
Okay, and should we try, with regards to the Rawda booking, so should I book it now, or I have to book it just a week before?
I don't think you can see it now. If it allows you to book it, then go ahead, but I don't think so.
Right, and can we do the Tawaf Ziyarah next day? I mean, on the 11th.
Yes, you can. But I'll be covering that details.
Yeah. And last question: how much money shall we carry? The cash.
That's difficult. We covered that. I can't remember where, and we all went back and forth on it. Blah blah blah. Look, it really does depend upon how much you're buying. Like, for example, ajwa, proper ajwa, is nearly £30 a kilo. Nearly £30 a kilo, right? Proper ajwa. That's actually worth taking or using or doing anything. Maybe 25 pounds. Maybe that's a bit more than I could. But anyway, now how much ajwa are you going to buy? If you're going to buy the cheap dates, the cheap date is which I really like, I'm addicted to, sukkari, a very nice quality one, is £4 or £5, £6 a kilo, right? How much are you going to buy? Perfumes that I'll be recommending, ones that I like, that they cost in the region of 150 to 160 pounds for a bottle. But there's also there's another very good one that I'll be recommending highly, which will be like, this is like, if you want to really look after someone, this is what you get them. All right, this is called Jebel Lows, right? And this is like about 180 quid, and it's the best perfume, like mashallah, match anything.
Sorry, Sheikh, but it was blurry, so I couldn't see it properly.
I'll take a picture and share it. I'll share thingies, and I'll share prices to give everyone an idea. I'll do it on the broadcast a bit later. Yeah. Then you got something like this, which is really, really good, elite level smell, and you can pick this up probably in a Hajj office for around 30, 40 pounds. Okay. How many gifts are you buying? So it's going to be about that, because from a meal point of view, you're gonna be given breakfast and dinner most of the time, and for half of the program, you're going to be given a lunch as well. So it's not food, which is very expensive actually, that you're going to be spending money on. It's going to be gifts, charity. So you've got to work that out yourself, bro. Okay. I literally cannot give you any idea. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. Barakallahu feek. Akil, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Sheikh, just wanted to cover up a few things. Firstly, the moisturizers, hand creams for the scalp, etc. They do have a good odor. They're not perfume odor, but still have a good odor.
All creams are permissible, no problem at all.
So creams are fine?
All of them, yeah.
Okay. The second thing is Amira would most likely be taking the train from Jeddah Airport to Medina. You mentioned that luggage is not allowed, but on the Haramain website, on the train, Haramain high-speed rail website, it says one normal cabin-sized baggage and one big suitcase is allowed, which is what she would be carrying.
Yes.
So is that Are there different rules during the Hajj season, or would she be
So
allowed?
I don't know about different rules in Hajj season, but the rule is.
Can I chime in?
Yeah, go on.
Can I come in? Yeah, so you've got to look at the dimensions of the bag that they allow on the train. You go on the website, there's dimensions. Those dimensions are not the large suitcases that we're used to doing. However, there was some talk on a previous Al-Bayt leadership webinar that they were going to speak with Al-Bayt about this. You'll keep in touch with me. I'll get some more information for you. But we've got to be careful with this because there's been issues in the past where people have not been allowed to take their large bags.
Worst case scenario, Aqil, what will happen is that if it's small enough and compact enough and doesn't look too big in the eyes of the guard that you're pulling it, they'll allow you or allow Amira to put it onto the train like you normally do and put it into the luggage part. If not, they'll make it go back and they make it check it in. And there are people there, like kullis, you should know about all that behavior, that you just drop a couple of riyals to their hand, give them, 20, 30 riyals and say, can you sort me out? These people will then go and get it on without having to pay extra or whatever. You told me she's a seasoned traveler. If she's that person, she'll be able to blag it on. Don't worry about it too much.
Okay. On the website it says the length, the longest dimension is 65 centimeters, which is also the same that she would be carrying anyway.
Just keep in mind, Aqil, because I got bit with this just last November. That dimension, the length, it includes the wheels. So if it has wheels, measure the length all the way to the end of the wheels, because otherwise sometimes they get very upset.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understood.
Just on that, only one bag is allowed, right? It's either the carry-on, which we take in the plane, or your regular suitcase, which is less than 28 inches, not 30, 32. Only one bag. So it's not like a carry-on and a suitcase. So that's where people get mixed up. Sheikh, I have a question on the Rauda booking. Rauda booking normally opens up on Fridays. And that's folks from Toronto, that's where they'll be in transit. So they will normally open up on Fridays for that week. And I don't know how we'll be able to book it if we are in transit.
No. We will be booking the Rauda bookings open from 10 days before the day itself. If you leave it to 9, 8, 7, 6, they will all be gone. You are right that on the Friday they add some extra slots. And a person might find an extra few spaces the next day, maybe, whatever. They have this kind of capacity system where they look at people who cancel permits, then they re-release them at 12 o'clock or at 12 o'clock morning, 12 o'clock evening, something like that.
Okay.
Yani, we will not be taking any risks like that. We will be, as I said in my email, on this Tuesday or Wednesday, going to be knowing very clearly that we're going to try to be booking our slots. And starting this Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday, in line with going on the next Saturday or the next Sunday, whatever it is on the itinerary that we said. What did we say? 1 second.
Sunday.
We said Sunday Sunday. So what's 10 days from Sunday then? What's 10 days from Sunday?
Because I've seen they don't open up. They open up for the entire week. They don't open up at one day at a time.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, basically from this Wednesday and this Thursday is when we're going to be starting to be like hawks, and that's when the chat group is going to become important. All right, so Wednesday, then Thursday and Friday. And what will happen is that the chat group, someone will say, and then we're going to start keeping the chat open longer. Someone will say, guys, it's open. Everyone jumps on. So that's all. That drama is going to start Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. Do you understand?
Okay, inshallah. Yeah.
All right. With that?
I think Farhad was next, and then, if I recall correctly, Mannan and Aisha.
Okay, so these are the last three. Okay, so Farhad first, then Mannan, and then who was it with that?
Aisha.
Sheikh, can you hear me?
Aisha.
Okay, I have no idea what you're saying with that. All right, Farhad, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay, two questions. So I submitted an inquiry, actually not a question for the azithromycin. I just want to make sure that the team have seen it.
When?
3 days ago, but I can message if you need to.
On the Q&A form.
On the Google form, yes.
It just says thingy. It's the question about Nusuk app. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
There's quite a few people that have got azithromycin and a number of medications, and we're all telling everybody to bring them. But just try to spread it out. That's all.
Okay. And another question for the US folks: are we going to clear our immigration at Riyadh Airport or Medina?
You know, is it Riyadh?
Our transit is at Riyadh. Yes.
Right, Riyadh. You will. Chief, what happened again last year? Shaz? Riz is not here. He's the one who should answer this.
You'll do it at Riyadh. You'll do it at Riyadh.
No, I know definitely we did it at Jeddah, but did it happen at Riyadh as well?
Riyadh. They will do it at Riyadh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. There you go. Farhad, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Quickly, guys. Manan, hurry up, bro.
I asked this before about laundry, but the answer was at that time that we'd be able to buy our own over there, maybe easily available, or do you recommend we bring our own like soap for laundry?
Oh, yeah, you can buy over there. They've got small boxes which they have, or you bring, you put some into a little dabba or put some in a little bag, and you can bring your own preferred one from home. They've got washing machines in base camp, so you're basically making the way that people normally do this, right? Me, for example, I've learned the hard way. I never wash anything other than by hand myself, or I bring lots and lots and lots and lots. And in fact, my whole box is basically clothes, right? I can probably get away with that because I'm buying less things to take back. So you're not going to be in my situation. Most folks over there are going to need to either do the following things. So some people bring minimal clothes and they buy lots of new clothes over there, which personally I think is a common sense thing to do, because the whole point of buying the different clothes over there is because you can't get it in the normal clothes anyway, in your normal country. So that's one opportunity for people to buy, their branded and cheap and nice quality cotton underpants, cotton trousers, soaps for the men, and for the ladies, the same for the undergarments, and then about it. So that's the first way of doing it, and buy lots of new stuff and use it and then take it back. The second way of doing things is that you bring absolutely everything like I do. The third way of doing things is that you just bring your normal minimal stuff and you wash it over there. There's two ways of doing that. The first school is that they will do it regular, and they want it pressed, and they want it ironed, and they want it all done for them, and they've got the money to pay for it, and they're willing to do it, and it costs a couple of quid per piece. And for that, there'll be these people, they're mostly Bengalis and Pakistanis, that will come to the hotel, they'll give you a card, they'll say, we'll call you, you come and drop it off, and we'll bring it back to you the next day, 2 days. It works. I will never give anything to them. There's always things that go missing here and there, whatever, but 99% of people love that system. It works for them. The second way of doing that system is that they survive on the clothes they've got for the 3 days in Medina and for the 4 days in Mecca. And then once you get to home, and home for us is base camp, we have our own washing machines. The washing machines will be at least, Chief, Chaz, how many?
4. 3 or 4.
That were working.
Yeah, I think
there's enough. There's enough for people that will.
Right, and there's going to be a floor where all these washing machines are, 3 or 4 washing machines, and you're basically going to be then, we're going to be putting hours where the girls go, the men go, and there's be washing lines, and and you basically wash all of the clothes that you've got with you from the last 7-8 days, and that's when you use your own powder, or some people buy a big box and there's it there. It's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. It's not something you need to worry too much about. Is that clear, Manat?
Okay, yeah, and our own washing machine, it doesn't matter if we have the powder or the soap. It's not specific.
No, it's just basic.
Okay.
All right. All right.
So
there is a laundry very close to the base camp as well.
Yeah, if you don't want to go through that headache of going there and waiting for your machine to stop or come back in 2 hours and blah blah blah, you don't want to get involved, just pay the money and you get it done as well. Last question. Someone who
just bear in mind the laundry also staple all the clothes as well, yeah?
They don't staple the clothes, they staple the label on.
Yeah, the staple the labels, clothes label the same thing, man. Sometimes they staple the clothes.
Who cares about the label being stapled to your Shaz?
Man, I still got the labels on from about 4 years ago. Labels.
I told you guys I have no idea. Custom how you give those people your clothes. I would, bro. Do it in the sink, yara. Proper old school, yeah, Desi style. Right? I don't know, because with that I think his I don't think we have anybody else.
I don't see her anymore, so, and I don't see
All
any
right.
hands.
Barakallahu fiikum, jazakumullah khair, everybody. I'll have this ready in a few minutes. I'm going to upload it to YouTube, so you don't need to download a massive file. So you don't need to. You will see the link get shared in the Telegram group. You don't need to click on it. I will download it. Chat's going to remain open. If you know the answers to each other's questions, please answer. Help each other, everybody out. Jazakumullah khair for attending, folks. Next week, really important, okay, everybody. I know that there are some of you that are working and some issues and some blah blah that you can't make it. Obviously, the Americans and Canadians can't make it at all. Customs can't make it. I get that. It is obligatory for you to watch it live. I do not say this lightly, because your entire Hajj is contingent upon the content and the mood and the vibe and the principles that we cover next week. And you are not. Whatever you think, whatever you say, you are not going to, in the 4 days after, watch a 7-hour YouTube video properly. 6 hour, 5 hours, you are not. Yeah, I can make a recording, but you cannot watch it. You do not have enough time. So please, if you cannot be here physically, then make sure you are here live, online, and that you're watching it and you're asking questions and you're, because it's going to be professionally broadcast, all done, all Taz has got all the switches and all the bloody-blahs. So it's going to be absolutely, spot on. For those who are coming, we're going to be releasing some information, some polls to get the idea of the exact numbers in terms of food. Alhamdulillah, lots of donations came in. Everybody's getting fed well, all covered. Anybody that's bringing any snacks and things, let us know, please. Message the admin that, I intend to, if you are doing it, then message one of the admins that you've been in contact with, that I intend to bring this, I intend to bring that, just so that we know that it doesn't become too much and that we are able to put them in the right places. But there's going to be a couple of breaks. There's going to be lots of refreshments as well. If you're bringing any, let us know. It's going to be a fantastic day. Weather's going to be great. We're going to need some control over parking. I will explain all of that. Abid, you want to say something?
So there's some questions from Halima and Tamim in the Google form. They are saying that has not been answered.
Okay. Let's have a look. From who? Halima?
Halima and Tamim.
Halima, yes, you can, as long as there's no disruption. Yes, you can. That's Halima. That's your question answered. Tamim. Nope, I can't.
You can Command F or Control F.
Oh yeah, sorry. Here, beg your pardon. That's not for now, Tamim. Okay, that's going to be covered. We can maybe look at that next week, and that's something which I would cover this in the actual Hajj seminar. Actually, I'm doing a seminar on this, Tamim. Okay, on your question in Basecamp. But we can touch upon this next week as well, inshallah. Please, Yani, put it to me, and if I feel that we've got an opportunity, we probably can deal with that on Sunday. All right, guys. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you for attending. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka Allahumma wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.